You know, some stories feel like they're ripped straight from a Hollywood script, just too wild to be true. And this is one of them. We're going to talk about Joaquín Guzmán, but you probably know him as El Chapo, a name that just screams power, unbelievable wealth, and this almost mystical ability to escape the inescapable. So to really get the scale of this, you have to picture this place, Altiplano. This is Mexico's ultimate fortress. Seriously, the airspace above it, a complete no-fly zone. Cell phone signals are jammed for miles around. There are 750 cameras watching every single inch 24/7. It is a concrete and steel labyrinth designed for one thing, to swallow people up forever. Before Chapo, no one had ever gotten out. And then, just like that perfect record was absolutely shattered. On what seemed like a totally normal Saturday night, the guards are watching the monitors and they see El Chapo walk into his little shower area. And then nothing. He's just gone, vanished into thin air from the most secure cell in the most secure prison in the entire country. Which brings us to the big question, right? How on earth do you break out of a place that is literally designed to be unbreakable? Well, to figure that out, we've got to understand the man who actually did it. See, to understand how he escaped, we first have to understand who he was. This wasn't just some two-bit criminal. This was a kingpin who was forged in poverty with this relentless drive to get rich and stay free, no matter what it took. What's really wild when you look at this is just the speed of his rise. Born into a poor farming family, he drops out of school after 3rd grade. By 15, he's already growing his own weed. By his early 20s, he's a hitman, known for being absolutely ruthless. And then, by 1989, when the big cartel at the time falls apart, he pounces and builds his own empire from the ashes, the Sinaloa Cartel. But here's what really set him apart from all the other guys. While they were all out there fighting these bloody turf wars, El Chapo was just thinking on another level. His real power wasn't just brute force. It was this kind of dark criminal genius. He was always thinking one step ahead of everyone else. And this is the perfect example of that genius. This is how he became known as the Tunnel King. Now, he didn't invent tunnels, but man, he perfected them. We're not talking about little holes in the ground. These were massive, underground highways stretching for miles under the US-Mexico border. They had lighting, ventilation, some even had motorcycles on rails to move drugs at incredible speed. It was a massive industrial operation happening right under the authorities' feet. And the results of all that innovation? Well, an absolutely staggering amount of money. By 2009, Forbes magazine estimated his net worth at over $1 billion. He was right up there with the world's wealthiest people. His cartel controlled something like 40 to 60% of Mexico's entire drug trade. Just mind-blowing numbers. So this is a really crucial point to understand. The 2015 escape from Altiplano, it wasn't a one-off, not even close. It was part of a pattern. He had done this before, and it tells you everything you need to know about how this guy operated. Let's rewind to 1993. He gets caught and sent to another high-security prison called Puente Grande. But for Chapo, prison was just a new office. He used his millions to bribe pretty much everyone, buying total control. He was throwing parties, getting special meals, and running his entire global empire from inside his cell. But everything changed in 2001, when Mexico's Supreme Court said he could be extradited to the US. Chapo knew right away he wasn't going to get that VIP treatment in an American prison. He had to get out, fast. And this slide really shows you his evolution as an escape artist. The first time in 2001, it was almost laughably simple. He basically just paid off everybody. We're talking over 70 guards for about $2.5 million. Hid in a laundry cart, and someone wheeled him out the front door. And it worked. He was on the run for 13 years. But the 2015 escape from Altiplano, oh, that was on a whole other level. That wasn't just about bribery. That was an absolute masterpiece of engineering. Okay, so let's get back to that night at Altiplano and the mystery of how he vanished. This wasn't just about paying off a few guards. This was a marvel of planning and construction. So how exactly did he pull it off? The plan was just breathtaking. It all started with a watch his wife gave him, a watch that just so happened to have a GPS tracker inside, beaming his exact coordinates to his crew. They aimed for the one tiny blind spot in his cell where there were no cameras, the shower. At the same time, his people bought a piece of land a kilometer away and pretended it was a construction site. And for an entire year, they dug 24/7, hauling away 350 truckloads of dirt. And at the bottom, waiting for him, a motorcycle, ready to fly him to freedom. I mean, just let these numbers sink in for a second. The tunnel was over a kilometer long. It was tall enough for him to pretty much stand up in, and it connected perfectly to a tiny 20 by 20-inch hole they cut through the concrete floor of his shower. The level of precision and the resources needed for that, it's just staggering to think about. So at 8:52 p.m. on July 11th, 2015, El Chapo just calmly walks behind the little privacy wall in his shower. He slips through that perfectly cut hole, climbs down a ladder, hops onto a motorcycle, and rides off. The guards? They didn't even notice he was missing for 25 minutes. By that time, he was long gone. As you can imagine, this escape was a huge embarrassment for the Mexican government. It kicked off one of the biggest manhunts in modern history. But, for a guy like El Chapo, freedom is a pretty hard thing to hold on to. In the end, it seems like his own ego was his downfall. I mean, while the entire world is looking for him, he can't resist doing a secret interview with the actor Sean Penn. That decision might have been what led authorities right to him, because on January 8th, 2016, his luck finally ran out. 6 months after the escape, Mexican Marines cornered him. This time, there was no third escape. He was sent to the US and, in 2019, sentenced to life. And this quote from that interview with Sean Penn, it just captures his ego and the sheer scale of his operation perfectly. He didn't see himself as just a drug dealer. In his mind, he was the CEO of a global corporation, the undisputed king of a very dark, very violent industry. Now, he lives here, ADX Florence, Colorado. They call it the Alcatraz of the Rockies. It's America's one and only federal supermax prison. This place is designed from the ground up to be the most secure prison on the face of the earth. Escape from here is considered literally impossible. But that leaves us with one last nagging question, doesn't it? The world was told that Puente Grande was escape-proof. They were told Altiplano was escape-proof. And El Chapo broke out of both of them. So when you're talking about a man with endless money and a true genius for escape, you have to wonder, is any cage really strong enough?